Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about the wait on that one. Getting a few technical difficulties out and making sure these players are well and rested for their third game of the day. It is again Mazel and Cubby on the desk, ready to bring this action to you. And Cubby, in a very interesting game number 2.
I really liked Ocean's adaptions coming on out, right? I mean, there's the, hey, let's just give NXI everything and let's see what he can do. It usually ends up pretty good. It went well for 100 Thieves next. Went well for Team Ocean in that game as well, as he just went off on the Graves. Highest level, most farm in the game. Not things I'm used to saying out of a jungler, but NXI makes it happen in the end. And curious to see, I mean, what kind of adaptions once again come in here for game 3.
Indeed.
Important thing for Team Ocean, they have to ban Samira on this side, which means they're probably going to drop the Jax ban. So maybe we see Tony Top take that a little bit earlier. I don't know if we're going to see Yunbi take the TF once again on this side, but new game, new draft, game 3, everything's on the line. Going to have to see how this one pans out, Marcel.
Yep, whichever team wins here will stay undefeated in the 2020 Honda Scouting Grounds, at least in series wins. But we have this switch up of sides again. Infernal on the blue side, Ocean on the red. We are already neck deep into the picks and bans here, Cubby, as we see that Nidalee, Ornn, and Leona taken off the board by Infernal. That's Samira, of course, as you mentioned with the big brain analysis. The Lucian, another ADC ban with a potential flex, and waiting on that third ban from Ocean.
All right, so adaptions coming on through, notably the Leona being taken off the table, right? Joey looked good on that in the last game, but it's also something that Shady can play. So maybe just trying to switch up the support matchup. I have to say I really like Shady's recon. Maybe getting rid of the Leona is going to free things up a little bit more for them, as looks like Lily is going to be taken off the table. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Graves coming on through.
Yep, you know. Hey, there it is. Why not? Tried and true Graves first pick coming in for Infernal, and it will be piloted by Tomio.
You have to take it away from him, man. He's just done way too much work on the champion in these first few games, and we're gonna have to see, does he respond with the Kindred, try and show Tomio how that matchup's actually played on NXI's side, or if he goes for something else. He does like Lee Sin. This is a champion that we don't see a whole lot, but could come through. Meanwhile, Team Ocean going to lock in that early flex. So we do have the set. It is one of Rodolph's best champions, but of course can be played in 3 lanes. So make that 4 lanes actually with the jungle. I don't think NXI is going to play it. That's why I'm saying 3. No way.
True. Hey, you know, sometimes you just got to go for gold, if you will. And NXI is going to lock in the Jhin for Yan, though, so they still get that pick that they like. Andy Hover here might be a little troll, but it's definitely looking like a classic matchup that we've already seen so far, except the set being a little different. But it is going to be that Ezreal locked in yet again.
I like that Ezreal a lot for sure. He looks so good on it in game 1. And also, you know, going into a set, you can easily kite him out, kite him around if you are the Ezreal. So sure, you're going to have a lot of agency, especially with the Orianna coming through, right? This is a champion that not only is it a safe blind pick mid, Shockwave, obviously a huge team fight spell as well, but hey, that shield, that speed up going over the Ezreal can do a lot of damage, help empower shore you throughout the game, as looks like we're going to have that same main matchup as the last game in the other one's hands. Yeah, going to have to see who really is the better player coming out.
Did they get the, I would love this right now. You get that late game scaling and just the damage potential, but as well as the playmaking potential for Yunbi here as they lock in that Azir. Switching things up here for game number 3.
So this is a much different feel coming out from Yunbi, a champion that we're not used to really seeing a play, right? We've seen him really go off on the Silas, on the Rise. It was off stream, but he actually, Rise is a signature champion. He got a pentakill on that champion earlier in Scouting Grounds in the first series he played. But Azir coming on through, it's a matchup into Orianna that's historically, you know, not too bad. But Orianna has a chance to, you know, try and control him in fights if Yunbi's fingers aren't that quick. So I'm actually really curious to see how he performs on this one, because it's something I wasn't exactly expecting to see out of this mid laner who's really been making a name for himself this week. But hey, another champion for him. If he can perform on this, just going to continue that trend.
And we get a continuation of the trend we've seen in the picks and bans so far, as well as we get the Jax taken away by Ocean, as well as that Camille trying to lower this champ pool of Tony Top. And then on Infernal side, they take that Kindred that they don't want to see into the Graves this time for NXI, and wonder what their last ban is going to be. If you think they're going to go more the jungle role, and they do, they get NXI's Lee Sin.
I mentioned that Lee Sin, he does like it into Graves. Now, this really narrows down the champion pool for him, right? Because Graves, a lot of people like to play AP champions in the Graves. Obviously, he doesn't get MR anymore from that grit. AP champion possibly being
I
hovered
would
here
love
in
it.
the Gragas. I would like to see this from NXI, and looks like they're playing around with what he's going to end up going with. Yon, don't play with me like that coming on through.
Don't play with me like that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
there it is. One of my favorite champions coming. We get to see the Hecarim for NXI, and this is a carry potential to the T.
It is. It's something a little bit different though from NXI. And I think it's just different because his team doesn't have as many ways to empower him in this one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's not paired up with the Orianna. He doesn't have an ornament coming on through later in the game. Now, this is a pick that struggles to interact with lanes a little bit more. So it's going to really be up to Team Ocean to try and ensure this Hecarim gets off to a good start. Because if Graves gets in his face early, things could get ugly. And it looks like Infernal wants to execute upon that, taking that Renekton priority in the top lane.
And giving Tony Top even more tools to deal damage with up here. So far in the series, he's done so well in both games. Yes, they did lose that last game, but giving him the Renekton this time, really just putting all
Shady
tools into his tool belt. And Shady, if he does it, this is going to be a lethal composition from Infernal, and they are going for the throat.
All right, guys, Shady's Pike is insane. And okay, so we have the Yubi coming on through. All right, hey, I was talking about empowering the Hecarim. This is one way to do it, right? Horse plus cat equals a lot of healing, a lot of damage coming on through. Much different feel for Joey, and it does only give Shady one target to hook, but that bot lane, all eyes have to be down there, right? Because when you pick a Yuumi, you want to get down there, you want to dive it, you want to pressure it. Shady can do just that in lane with his signature Pike. So really looking out, and this game, it's going to be exciting. Pike is a champion. We don't see a lot of anymore, but Shady could come up big on it.
And with the roaming, the playmaking that we've already seen in this series, you know, he's definitely going to be the one that is in the driver's seat of that. Joey just trying to help out his team. Once they get that combination of NXI and Joey on top of each other in the later parts of the game, I think that's where it gets really scary. You have a lot of options for both of these teams, and we're going to see it all unfold in just a few minutes as we go to break right before game number 3. And we have made it for the final time of this series on to Summoner's Rift as Ocean and Infernal fight for this last undefeated spot. And we are sure to see fireworks going off in this one, Cubby.
Well, we're going to have to see if we can break or the end of pick ban with Shady locking in his signature pike. Joey immediately responding with the cat. And we're going to have to see what happens down there early, because it's really going to be on Shady to try and punish that pick coming on through, because you want to take out some of the 9 lives that the cat has early, right? It gets a lot harder to take her down as the game goes down.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to have to take the long way. Luckily, Jan steps up as well, and it will just be a couple pokes back and forth. You get double wards in from the side of Ocean, though, as you see a big vision game being played already here, trying to figure out where Tomio wants to path.
Yeah, not only that, but you also see the rival ward being placed by Team Infernal on the Raptors, so they're going to see NXI start off on this camp. See if he clears it afterwards, as he did manage to swap out to the sweeper. It's important that Graves did not, right? So NXI could kill this ward and trying to hide his jungle pathing if he does something creative. But it looks like he's just going to start off on the Raptors and go from there.
Definitely will, and wonder what the pathing is doing, where the big focus is going to be. I know you said we want to see something looking at this bot side, but really trying to get some of these solo lanes ahead early can be very beneficial, where you can put more of that focus around some of these lesser parts. And I think that especially when we've seen the contest around Dragon, although we didn't get to see a soul be given out last game, it was still hotly contested over and over again when those dragons did come up, although it wasn't until about 9-10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and Dragon, it's the win condition. It's the priority for a lot of these teams, as I'm actually surprised that Ocean was able to get into this lane first, scotch-free.
Yeah.
This does give Yuumi a lot of power, right? Getting into the lane first, it's one way to try and get some priority and dodge out on the level 2 spike that Shady can turn deadly on this pike. So early advantage going over to the bot lane of Team Ocean. We expect that to change. We expect Shady to land some of those hooks coming on through and pressure this cat. But until then, it's going to be Team Ocean getting off to an early start and trying to bounce that wave back to them.
It's going to be Hecarim just trying to get to this level 6 mark. He can get some early ganks, but once you get that unstoppable onslaught, it's just, or onslaught of shadow, sorry, it's just too much going in at once, especially in those quick kill moments. And we already saw last game on the Graves, NXI had those instincts, and now you have a lot more tools to initiate that with yourself involved, and I think that's going to be something we have to watch out for. Tony Top still making Rodolph feel some pain up here on the Renekton v Set matchup, but very even so far.
Yeah, but press the attack coming out for Tony Top, so trying to go for some of those quicker trades, a little bit more early game power coming out from that Keystone, and Tony Top trying to cash that one in, as Rodolph does have to sack a couple of those creeps. Both these guys should be sustaining up just fine with those Doran shields, and nice health regain they benefit from on their champions. If you're the Set, not to mention the empowered healing coming out from the Renekton too. As NXI going to secure that top crab, utilizing that top priority Rodolph has. Crab shared on the bottom for Tomio, so still a split map, still a quiet game so far.
Yeah, I just love the way the map looks when situations like this happen, where both junglers are going for the scuttle crabs. You just get like the sideways play in the mid lane, but now we actually see that it was the collapse from Infernal in the mid lane that forces Yunbi to get under tower, and now Tomio looking to take advantage here in the jungle and get some of these enemy camps under his belt.
And this is the big difference of the game, right? Because Shady, he's already out of lane. It only took 4 minutes in level 3 this time for him to actually escape that lane down there. He can leave Shoryu, right? It's a Yuumi. Shoryu can farm from 1k, and Team Infernal, they're pretty much going to have an extra member on this map for the entire early game. So it's going to be really difficult for Hecarim to get a hang of those camps. But given time, given gold, obviously a lot of scaling coming out from Team Ocean with this Yuumi, with this Hecarim. So it's going to be up to Team Infernal to keep the pedal to the metal early, like that early roam coming out from Shady to get things started.
Yeah, and I'm wondering here with NXI's pathing towards the bot side and having cleared his entire jungle except for his Raptors up there, if he really just tries to go for this early dragon, and you have an Ocean Soul to start off with, yes, not the most beneficial, but that extra regen will help. But you have to always be worried about Shady, as you perfectly said, looking for these roams, looking to be this extra man around the map, and especially once he hits level 6, that's an execute waiting for you.
Going to have to watch. I think it's also important to note that Shady, he burns through shields, right? So I think Rodolph might actually really struggle on this set pick coming on through, right? Because that Haymaker, it's not going to save him from Pike, you know, that death from below, the break through shield. So something you're going to have to look out for is Shady. Not connecting on any of these bone skewers too far, but I like that control ward that Team Infernal has placed on the bottom side of mid. Going to open up things for Shady to try and roll up there. And you can see Tomio already cashing in on that priority is Tony Top.
He can't do anything. He knows that if he uses the Haymaker, it's just going to get popped by the shield break. And Tony Top takes control of the top side of the map. Meanwhile, it's been Tomio soloing the dragon this entire time and gets the first dragon for Infernal. And they're setting themselves up real nice right now.
Yeah, cross-map wins coming out from Team Infernal as Tony Top cashes in on the top lane. Rodolph, that's a rare mistake that we see out of him, one of the more veteran players here, and someone that we think is very complete, especially with this weak side play. Falls down below to a mistake there, hitting the gray screen as gonna have to see a reset coming out from Team Ocean, and they're gonna really be on the back foot here, right? Because Yumi can't do anything under pressure now.
And they have to flash. I mean, that is huge. Jan just stepping up and not realizing what could be waiting in the wings, and turns out it was 3 full members there. You don't want to pull that off. The flash going down, that's 5 minutes until this is available for him. You see Tomio still down here, still looking for the dive. This is a little bit early, but they're going to get it. They get the damage down onto Jan, and they take the kill. Shady securing that one. Mid lane, Copy's going to flash using a nice double shockwave, but the charge comes through, and NXI claims their first kill.
Love the early pressure going over on the bot lane from Team Infernal. They need to punish this combo. They do just that, but meanwhile, NXI seeing the jungler, makes an answering play in the mid lane, taking down Copy. These guys trying to trade blow for blow, and we do have the early lead going over to Team Infernal, but still a rather close game we have. And Zo, I think this is going to be one of those games where it's going to kind of be favored really heavily in Team Infernal until Ocean wins the close fight, then it's going to be all of them, given the scaling. So really want to look out for Team Infernal. They're trying to push the pace. They're trying to make plays as Shady. He might be going in here.
This is a little bit close. It's a scary situation to have the advantage in a 2v3 where they're running away, but you can always get baited in situations like that. Luckily, they do not do so, and they just continue the pressure. Tony Top is performing wonderfully on this Renekton pick.
It's something that we definitely expect out of Tony Top, right? Like, we know that he can play the fighters really well. It's just that when he has to play weak side, has to play something like that Ornn, where he's not as complete as a player like Rodolph. And, you know, giving him the early priority, I think, really plays into his strengths. You can see him there pulling the wave to force Rodolph to overextend for the CS. Him hitting multiple creeps there is going to put Rodolph in trouble. He's going to have to sack even more creeps in this lane. Tony Top doing a good job of utilizing that early solo kill he got, trying to snowball this lead up here in the top lane.
So this engage on bot side is going to miss by Shady here. They do get the counter engage, but not going to follow it through. There's a little bit of information on this map right now that is kind of worrying me, and it's not that big of a deal, but it is going to take NXI a decent amount of time to farm through the rest of his jungle. He's still got his whole jungle to go through, and you have 2 minutes until this next dragon. Obviously, it's okay to let Tomio pick up another dragon, just go up 2-0. We've seen it before. We've seen the comebacks come through, but you just want to make sure that you're positioning at the right times. And right now, it looks like he's just going to try and forego a little bit of that extra farm and make sure they can position around here as Joey's looking for roam himself.
Mazel, I'm glad you think it's okay to sack another dragon, because I think Team Ocean already has to, right? There's no way they're going to be able... Yeah, they just can't get the items in time to even, you know, give themselves a chance to contest this one, and they're just going to have to think about the 3rd or 4th Drake when they make that play.
They don't want to give it up?
I mean, you don't want to give it up, but they're going to have to, right? So they're going to have to figure
they're positioning around it. We'll see. NXI wants to try and get a kill before it kicks off, but luckily Shady is going to be able to expertly move out of that one. The curtain call was used by Jan, just get some damage on Tomio, but not going to do anything to dissuade them from positioning around that objective. You see the pings coming down towards the top side of the map, as we are going to get a reset by Tomio. So looking to match NXI and not try and force too much around this bot side.
Game is, you know, we're letting NXI farm. It feels like Ocean is okay as long as no plays are going down, and it's nice that they got some chunk damage off of Tomio, so they forced him to reset. But I'm still really worried here for Team Ocean, right? Because it's a lot of time they're going to have to survive on this map just to pick up some farm, and it's really showing no signs of letting up, right? Tony Top, he's going to keep on winning this matchup. Shady, he's going to keep on being able to get out of lane and possibly make plays. How he's even Ding 6 has access to that ultimate. That execute could be big.
Sure, you're just getting some extra shots on Jan. You love Shady with the execution, trying to make these plays onto Yan, and he doesn't have much room for wiggle there, because if you get caught in one of these combos and you don't have flash, as you don't right now, it gets very scary, and the damage potential is there. Final chapter is used on the Shoryu. They don't get the root though, so that's another big cooldown used. The heal was popped by Shoryu just for the giggles, and see if it doesn't hit. That would have been a lethal combo there as well. They don't get it, and it's again Tomio just picking up drag.
It's really enjoyable watching this dance actually between the bot lanes as Jin's trying to dance around these minions and stay safe. Shady's trying to get that bone skewer around those creeps, get back to Yan. But hey, the important thing is that bot lane prio. That's another early dragon being taken by Team Infernal. They continue to cash in on this Pike pick of 2-0 in the Dragons, 1.5k gold. Feeling good at the start of this one.
They do get that double. We get the Infernal Soul on the map, so definitely going to be more contested as it is the biggest boon if you can get all those dragons, and definitely looking for Ocean to pick up a good amount of those if they can. But yeah, nice stop of the back and mid lane, going to force Yanbi to now just recall, and he's actually not going to be able to complete it because he needs to stop this plays from going over, because you don't want to give that much gold to Copy, who's been doing just fine in the mid lane up until.
Copy is having himself a nice time in this matchup. Azir, you know, he does scale nicely, and the big part about Azir is that you can pressure Ori in team fights with that Shurima shuffle coming on through. But Rodolph, he's getting pressure right now. He might be going down.
That's going to be collateral damage used on Rodolph. Doesn't get the kill. Showstopper, the execution coming in. The gold shared, and that's so much extra every time they can pull off one of those.
And you can see some of that expertise shining through on Shady with the signature Pike pick, just waiting until Rodolph burns all of his tools in order to go down.
That was such a weird interaction. The flash with the True Shot Rush still coming off where he flashed from. I think that's really interesting. But NXI tried his darndest, popped the Ghost even to get Shoryu, but they don't get the kill because Ezreal is just a little bit too slippery.
Meanwhile, where my eyes go, Yunbi really likes Stinger this game. I feel like he misclicked on the Nashers. It's about the same amount of gold. That's going to hurt, as, you know, I guess they might be trying to buff up those extra stand soldiers. Maybe they need an extra Stinger coming on through. I'm not exactly sure, but hey, maybe a little bit of pressure shining through, as this is a big game. I think both these guys really want to come out on top of the round robin, not to mention impress all the eyes they have on them as Shoryu.
Look at that. Woo! They execute Shoryu. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. It was complete pressure from Yan and Joey, and they just push him off the tower and take the kill. Now Tomio looking in the mid lane. Shockwave gonna miss. The Bone Skewer will not, though, as Emperor's Divide comes off. He tries to go to the wall, but he can't, and he still falls. Infernal have taken control of this game and are not relenting.
New champ once again from Youngby. Feel like he's a little bit nervous in this one. Is that misplay? Meanwhile, though, Yan, I mean, I love Shoryu playing so far up, but it's gotten punished a few times today by the team Ocean, and gets punished there once again as Yan flashing aggressively paired up with this Yumi. That said, this next dragon, I'm really curious to see if Team Ocean decides to try and contest this one, because they're still a long way off from being where they want to be to fight, right? You want NXI to have that Trinity Force, possibly even that Death's Dance. You want to have Rodolph, well, you know, not looking at this garage sale he's got in his inventory right now for sure. And Jin, he did complete that first item, so a little bit more power coming on through for him, but still going to be nowhere close to where this Graves is at, and all the power, all the priority is going over to Team Infernal so far still.
And with a little bit of a lead, about 3,000 or so here, it has been the decisions that they've made that led them to this point, and the positioning so far has been so good. But now the third dragon of the game is going to be spawning. You have unlocked the top side. You've taken that tower. Maybe we'll see the collapse with Tony Top finally making his name known in the bot side of the map. But he can continue to free farm up there, push in Rodolph, and just be this menace up there that cannot be dealt with, and forcing the rest of the members of Ocean to deal with these big fights around this ADC and support and everything else in between.
So Copy's hugging that top side just to ensure that no one's going for Tony Top up here, but all four members of Team Ocean on the bot side, he can then get mid priority and start hovering bot, right? This dragon spawning now in less than a minute. I really don't think Ocean can go for this, right? If I'm
Yeah,
Ocean,
I
I
don't
would
think so either.
really consider waiting till the 4th dragon because you don't even have
Oh, no.
items tweeted. As NXI getting caught, can they take
That
down
was
Shady though?
so nice though.
Oh.
Shady's still alive. He finally goes down. NXI using Joey to his utmost potential. Emperor's Divide goes wide by Yumby. He goes down too as Copy makes the kill onto the mid laner of Ocean, and they want to follow this up. They still have 3 members versus 3. The top side of the map has come down too, and it's actually Rodov who gets the first take at it, using the showstopper, bringing Tomio to the back, but NXI is still forward. Tomio is very far out, but can he get out? It will not be so. The auto attack from Joey is going to secure that one, but they left their ADC out to dry, and he will also see the death realm.
Ocean had different ideas. So far, it's an even fight, but that weight death coming out from Yon, the fact that Yunbi doesn't have access to his teleport, going to give the dragon over to Infernal, but hey, props to Team Ocean. I know they don't walk away with this objective, but a few kills going over to the side of them will be more money in their pockets, and we saw the potential that this comp has, right? Yumi paired up with this Hecarim, the cat on the horse, right? It's so incredibly strong, really buffs up NXI, and did a lot of work in that fight, despite even being engaged upon by Team Infernal. So, want to see them try and farm it up, and on the bright side for Team Infernal, right, it's Soul Point. They still have this 3K gold lead. They're still in control of this game, but I want to see them continue to snowball this one out because we can see the danger of Team Ocean if they're allowed to scale into this one.
Yeah, it just gets scarier and scarier, but you do have some scaling factors on the side of Infernal as well, and it's just how those factors butt heads in the later parts of the game. But right now, Rodolph trying to take advantage of split pushing this bot side, does not get the tower, and now he's going to be in some very serious trouble here as Shady has found him out. Does get slowed, will not hit the bone skewer, trying to go for the dodge, is not going to make it because of the flash, and Rodolph is now a 5-minute cooldown on that summoner spell, but at least he survives.
So the power of Shady shining through, you know, he is the one that is able to roam. He is the one that's able to make plays compared to these two supports, whereas Joey wants to find his buddies as he might get found here by Graves. Cat's in trouble.
They catch out the cat. Joey just gets completely bamboozled there. NXI going to have that interesting interaction of the devastating charge with the blast cone. See if they can get the Gromp. Get a lot of damage put onto them, but they will not fight any longer on this bot side of the map, although Rodov still could get collapsed on down here. As you see, Tomio headed back down this way too. Don't know if they want to fully go for a dive. Probably not the greatest idea into a set with Showstopper available, but they will be the ones to make that decision as Copy gets hit a little too hard.
And Rodolph, I mean, he's just been relegated to going full tank in this one, right? He's just trying to eat up as much damage as possible. He realizes what his job's going to be, right? It's just to create space for this Hecarim, for this Azir, let them put down the damage in these team fights. Meanwhile, he's just got to be a distraction. And Mazel, the clock keeps on ticking down to that soul point. The clock keeps on ticking, though, for Team Infernal to keep this lead and keep on utilizing their priority. They have expanded their lead to 4K. They're now pressuring the upcoming Rift Herald, which they can use to possibly take down that mid-inner turret and further open up the map for them. Still feel like Team Infernal's in good shape, but you got to keep on making it happen.
That's the Onslaught of Shadows already used. Another big cooldown by NXI just to escape the Rift Herald being burned down here. Just less than a minute to go till it does despawn. And Baron, the big purple worm, respawns. It looks like they will be able to secure that one just in time for this, which sets them up even better, Cubby, because now they can use the Rift Herald as a distraction. If they want to commit to the play with the Rift Herald, they take even more. They give one singular dragon over to Ocean, or they can just go straight for the soul and get this Infernal Soul, which will completely change the definition of these fights.
NXI, he's going for this, and I feel like Team Infernal, they've snuffed it out. He walked over Ward. Can NXI escape?
This is going to be really rough. He does have Joey with him as well. So it's a duo down here going over the wall. Maybe they just commit. Yeah, they're bringing everybody down here. I don't know if this is going to work out. Flash by Yumbi. He does get the Tower of Shurima up, so they will be able to defend this location a little bit longer. But NXI phase checks the bush, Cubby. He still survives, gets executed at the end by Shady. And that is not the call you want to see going into this kind of fight right now.
Death from below comes from above when it comes to from Shady, dunking down that pony, taking him down, and that's the linchpin of Team Ocean's comp going down. They are gonna have to see things, right? We see that mid tower being sieged, that Rift Herald, it's still alive. Infernal, they're not allowing Rodolph and Yunbi to base. They're looking to siege down even more possibly or collapse onto this duo.
And they get Rodolph using the showstopper to get some distance there, but he has to take the corner. That's going to be the haymaker as well. They are surviving, but guess who's arrived? It's a scary Croc Man who's going to give Shoryu the kill. Yunbi just trying to survive under the tower. And now with Dragon spawning, this is a very hard predicament to be in by Ocean. The curtain call is unleashed. First shot lands onto Shoryu. Can they dodge it? They get him out of there. Oh, he almost walked right back into that one, but does not. Shady gets the bone skewer back, and they have to turn tail away from the Dragon Pit as everybody from Ocean has now shown up.
Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think Team Infernal made a mistake. They stayed too long, right? This Dragon, it spawns in 15 seconds. Yes, they have access to, or they can TP back, but they're caught out. Tomio, he might be going down.
Everybody just completed their backs. They were left all alone, but guess what? XI is down. Shotgun shot to the face will do it. They get one spread between the two and copy, and Tomio will secure kills there. Now TP in. Emperor's Divide is not used because he couldn't get the Shurima Shuffle off. Yan gets flashed on by the Renekton, does get the Deadly Flourish there, but can he get out of there? Nice blast cone. Bone Skewer is going to secure it, though. One more stun. He doesn't get it, but the damage is already done, and Tony Top takes down Yan.
Man, NXI, he went too far. He was trying to stop bases, but you don't go for kills there. You just go for bases, slow down those so you can possibly take the drag. But with those mistakes going through for Team Ocean, Infernal Soul for Team Infernal, they have successfully snowballed this early game, have successfully secured the Dragon Soul, and now it's all doom and gloom for Team Ocean. They still have the scaling to stay in this game, right? They can still possibly come back, but it's going to be so tough for them to play around this Baron and play through the extra damage that Team Infernal is not going to have with that Soul.
It's just crazy how this all played out, and it was just off of the chaos that was stopping backs, fighting, going back to it, TPing. Why not? After this long series of events, it does end up in that Infernal Soul. Everything going in favor of Infernal as they have the script apparently in their favor with that Soul being down, and they also got the bot tower by Tony Top using that split push. Shady is in not the right neck of the woods, but he still gets the red.
Oh man, Shady just sneaking on out of there, pulling off the heist. I feel like his ultimate gives him a lot of practice stealing things, right? Taking all that extra gold. He's going to take the red buff with them as well. It gets back over the wall nice and safe, but this is good from Infernal, right? They want to start controlling this side of the map. That Elder Dragon, it's a long way off from spawning. It's going to be all about the Baron. They already have so much pressure going on over here as they're taking the camps, getting down the vision, and now sieging down these inner turrets as well.
They can get the siege going down, but it looks like there's just a little bit of caution being played by Infernal as they pull back to this Baron.
No caution.
Little caution, but they go for the big bucks here if they can get this. Yeah, there's no contest coming out, and so far it seems like it's just Ocean, unfortunately, trying to scale up, but at the same time bleeding out.
I mean, Ocean, I feel like Shady's roams were very powerful in this.
Man. There's no response there. I mean, Yunbi just gets taken off the map with no qualms, no ifs, ands, buts. He's just done.
Shady, your pike is disgusting, man. Coming on through, coming off big. So much extra gold going over to the pockets. This is now a 10K gold lead, and man, I kept on teasing the fact that Ocean might be able to come back from this one. It's looking pretty doom and gloom for them. Team Infernal utilizing this early game, snowballing out well, trying to siege down these towers now.
Yeah, and see if the finish can come through. It's always one of the key factors in how teams want to play. They can play well all they want throughout the game, but they've got to be able to close it out, and that is one of the most important times to do so. Here, you see Rodov getting hooked in. The Baroned up minions are still doing so much. Look how much that Infernal Soul is doing just off the pop shots of Shoryu, though, as we get the first tower going down on the inner ring of them, as that's a big shockwave. Rodov has to use the haymaker. Yunbi on the back with the Emperor's Divide. It's not enough though. NXI is gone. You have Tony Top in the back, and that is going to be all she wrote in that fight. Can they finish this off, Cubby?
All she wrote in the fight, all she wrote in the game. This one's going to be going down. I mean, props to Team Ocean, right? You got on shore, you tried to take him down, but just not enough. He's going to stay alive. finish off these towers as Team Infernal. Both game 1, game 3. Pretty dominant game coming out from them. I'd say this is the most convincing win that we saw, Maisel. They wanted this so bad. They wanted to take first in the round robin. They're going to do just that, taking the win.
Yep, they go up undefeated, still in this scouting grounds for the wonderful game that we saw here. They performed so well. It was back and forth. Game 1, game 2, game 3 was all Infernal this time around, and it is unfortunately the first series loss for Ocean. So gotta look how that kind of brings them back together and how they evolve from that. But I think that Infernal is definitely looking like
I'm not worried about it, man. You got to say they're the top team. They're 3-0 after that round robin. But hey, this could be a preview of the finals that we get on Saturday. I really think that Team Ocean still looks good, right? Like, I'm not worried about that. I mean, like that comp they took in game 3. If you lose early, it's gonna look ugly, right? Because you took so many late game pieces. I don't like the pairing of taking the Hecarim into the graves and then pairing it with Yuumi, right? I mean, Shady was just able to put his stamp on that game with his signature pike. That flash bone spear we saw on the Azir. I think he guessed where he was in the brush, was just disgusting coming out from him.
That was so dirty.
Yeah, really showing his mastery on that champion and giving some of the love of his friends all the gold that champion can give over as well with that ultimate. But looking good, and Shady, real standout player to me in this one. I mean, I know that coming in, we talked about support pool maybe not being as strong as some of the other roles we're seeing, like AD, where we feel like all 4 ADs could easily play an academy. But Shady making a name for himself, making the case that he deserves to be brought on back up, and really like the play I'm seeing out of him.
I do too. And just to kick off our day of League of Legends, this is exactly how I wanted to start, Cubby. But we are going to have to take a little break here while we get ready for an interview with one of the winning players here of this series, and we'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and I am here with our interview, and it is none other than Mr. Tomio himself. How you feeling after that crazy series?
After that crazy series, I'm feeling relieved, but I feel good because obviously it's a win, or like a win in the series, and it's a 3-game. It was enjoyable.
It was definitely a banger, if you will. But
yeah.
After that, I mean, it was pretty neck and neck. But then in game 3, I mean, you guys just turned it on. And we've heard mentions of the Tomio Death Squad here. And it wasn't necessarily as present this way. It wasn't all the focus on you. But how did you feel in this series? And as a whole, for your play, at least in general, in Scouting Grounds?
How I feel in the series? I felt confident, comfortable. I wasn't really nervous. On the first day, I was kind of nervous, but when I got into mid game, it was whatever. Right.
Right. It all works out, especially when you're picking a Jackson game number 1, for the top side, no big deal. And then you get Shady's pike at the end there. Were there any big moments that were I guess difficult for you guys to handle, especially looking at that game 2 where it was back and forth, but then Ocean just seemed to grab hold of the pace of it and get away with it? What were the communications like, I guess, in game number 2 for you guys?
Game number 2, communications were sorry, I'm trying to think.
No, they're good. Take your time.
We're just, every time we got our bases off, we're just trying to look to kill someone, which wasn't the right play. We're desperate because we're on timer because they have Ornn and they have Graves out farming me as Kindred. And it
is a bit rough, especially. I just like the volatility of that matchup. But it was definitely Graves favoring that one and the pathing and all that. But getting away from the games a little bit and talking about your experiences at Scouting Grounds so far, what has been your most exciting moment, the thing you remember so far? I know we've still got a couple days here, so still got a while to go, but so far, what has been the fondest moment for you?
The fondest moment? I can't really think of one, but if I could think of one right now, it's probably getting coached.
I like it.
For the first time. Getting coached, and it's really nice.
Yeah, coming from solo queue a little bit more, it is nice to get into those team situations and have a little bit of coaching there. It really shows as well. This week has been so huge for everybody at Scouting Grounds, but you especially have had a huge spotlight on you. And I have one more question, a little bit sillier question for you, Mr. Tomio. What's
Of
your
course.
favorite animal?
My favorite animal?
Yeah.
There's a lot, but I'd say a panda would be my
A
favorite
panda.
animal.
All right, you
Yeah.
heard it here first, folks. It is Tomio's favorite animal, a panda, and it is a good one to choose. I do
Mhm.
want to give you a chance to give any shout outs to anybody you've been working with, anything like that here before we let you go.
Shoutouts. I would like to shout out pro player. He's been helping me a lot.
All right, all right.
His name is Johnson.
I like it.
I did.
Okay.
I like to shout out my sister.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's been supporting me since the start. And yeah.
Oh, hit me right in the feels, man. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us, Toby. I'm sure it's not the last time we will get to speak with you, but have a great evening and rest up for the rest of those
course.
games you have going on, all right?
All right. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it from us today. For a little bit, you come back at 4 p.m. PST for the continuation of the 2020 Honda Scouting Grounds. That's going to be it. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time.